shower too. I'm gonna fill it. So, yeah, enjoy the video. And sorry if there's some background noise or something, because it's quite loud. So there's my fan blowing up, even if it's supposed to be not noisy. And also, I have two cats, and they're quite naughty, so I hope they won't make a mess while I'm working. Yeah. Let's start. And I probably won't talk a lot, I just want to focus on my characters. So, yeah. Let's go. The sound of the pen on the paper is loud enough, so I might talk a bit while working. Like, I may be able to talk about the characters I'm working on. And that's my first video, as you guys can see. So feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. So this character is dark, and I usually wrote only one pronunciation, and one pronunciation for the onyomi and the kanyomi. Sometimes there's many, but the shit is too small, so I decided to write only one. So dark, the pronunciation for dark in onyomi is an, and it's kanyomi, so the Japanese pronunciation is kurai, kurai. Next character is possess, exist. It's one of the most used pronunciation, but it's mostly used as a verb. This character for the Chinese pronunciation is read as you, but its Japanese pronunciation is aru. Aru. Aru. Aru. Aru means, yeah, that's someone has something, has some characteristic, or there's something like, can't say, I don't know. write the English meaning of the character. Then I write the Chinese pronunciation, which is called onyomi. And then there's the Japanese pronunciation, which is called kanyomi. So Japanese is quite difficult for Westerners because you don't really have character-based languages like in Western Europe. I'm from France, by the way, and you never. It's like it's just the alphabet, so the difficulty for us is that sometimes you know a character, you know what it means, but you can't remember its pronunciation. Sometimes you just recognize it, yeah, and you can't put your fingers on it, what is it? And sometimes you just know, oh, something is pronounced, but you don't remember the character, so even though you know some words, some vocabularies, and you see it, but you don't recognize it. And that's something not really, this kind of thing doesn't really exist in French. So I might check sometimes in my phone on some vocabulary, because as I worked with a paper pen, some of those characters are quite hard to read, and my writing is not perfect. So, for example, this one is to pour like water in a glass, and I believe the Japanese pronunciation is soso. So I wrote sosoku. Sosoku is the verb to pour, and soso is just the pronunciation for the character. You have to differentiate the verb and the character. The character is just a general idea of pouring, but the actual verb is sosoku, I believe. But I gotta check. Sosoku, yeah. As you can see. Sosoku. To pour. This application is called Nihongo, and it's only on iPhone. And there's a subscription, but the free version is already pretty nice. I use the free version because the dictionary is quite well made. As you can see, you can check what's the verb, the different way of writing it, its meaning. So there's to pour, like pour into, there's to sprinkle on from above, the water, like when you water your plants, the different meaning for a verb. And then you can check the kanji. So there's actually the writing and the order, the meaning of each compound of the kanji, and so on. And then, yeah, there's some vocabulary with examples. So for example, if you want to say the river flows into the lake, it would be kawa wa musumi ni sosoiteiru. Sosoiteiru is how to translate it in English, the eng form of the sosoku verb. It's like flowing, sosoiteiru, flowing. Japanese pronunciation. So this is the onyomi pronunciation, and this one is yo. Some characters are pretty straightforward, like ocean or clothes. So you know those characters will maybe clothes or ocean, but sometimes some characters might be more abstract, like this one I made just minutes ago. It was a business or a performance, but it's not business. To do business with someone is like to have a task. So it's like a task, but not exactly a task to be performed. And you can this character exists in vocabularies that encompass usually something you have to perform something sometime in a professional setting, but not necessarily. I don't have an example right there, so let's check. Let's check in the dictionary. So the kanyomi is wasa. So wasa. So yeah, for example, for the kanji, yeah. So for example, a business, an affair, something that some works, a procedure or task will be the vocabulary associated with this character will be kyom. So, but as you can see, there's plenty of it. So every one of those vocabulary contains the second character, the business character, and sometimes it's related to enterprise stuff like this one, but sometimes it could be like a profession, like not a profession but a field, like Nokyo, it's agriculture. This one, yeah, for example, Jugyo is a class, like you're in a classroom or you're following a lesson. It's Jugyo, and also it's not directly a professional setting. There's this notion of some business or some performance to be made. So sometimes it's not that straightforward, like this character. But is a thing or an object. This one is really common, like you will find it in all kind of thing, like dobutsu is an animal. It's the thing that move. Nimotsu. I believe that's nimotsu. Will be like some package. Kaimono thicker type than the paper pen I used, so it's kinda tricky to write the whole thing in the box. But let's continue. Departure. It's hot and that's the prefecture. Prefecture. It's Ken. And there's no Japanese pronunciation, it's just Ken. True is Shin. And Makoto. Shin and Makoto. Ma. It's ma, but it's the ma in Makoto vocabulary, and I believe the Makoto vocabulary is also written with the same character and no other. I mean, you can check, I believe. Makoto. It's a different character, but as you can see, it's a different character, but it also suggests that an alternative character might be the one I'm currently learning. So sometimes for the same vocabulary, there's 2-3 different characters, and this changes, like the meaning just a bit, like in what is it? Harimas, I believe it's Harimas, I'm not sure, but it's one character is to put up something, and another character is to paste or to stick something. So almost the same meaning, but there's 2 distinct characters to differentiate it when writing, but it's the same pronunciation. Short is tan, michikai. To polish, it's too small. To sharpen. This one is actually, I believe it's used both to polish or sharpen an object like a knife, but I believe it could be used in the wrote study, but I don't have enough room to write it. I believe it's also used to sharpen a scale, and it's the verb to sharpen is to polish and sharpen is migaku. has two characters, but the character by itself isn't always its vocabulary. So this is the character for the research, but by itself it's not the vocabulary for research. You have to combine it with sharpen. So it's Kenkyu. The next one, if you're watching some anime, you might have heard this one. The N, it's the Chinese pronunciation is shu, but the Japanese one is oeru. And depending of if it's transitive, intransitive, and stuff like that, you could also say water. It's like in anime when you hear owarida, like the character is gonna give the final blow to like the villain or something, and they say owarida, like that's the end for you. Learn. In Japanese, there's a lot of way to say learn, and I never really know where to use, when to use which. So this character is pronounced mana. Sorry, nara, the Japanese pronunciation, and the verb is nara, to learn. But sometimes it's a bit ambiguous with two other verbs, which are benkyou suru. Benkyou suru is more like to study, I believe. But you already can see that we're using two verbs for similar meaning, to learn, to study something. And there's also manabu. Manabu is a verb that uses the character you can see in the school, for example. So I'm never very sure which vocabulary to use. Like when I talk to Japanese people, usually you use benkyou suru to say that you're learning Japanese, but I'm not very sure in which situation I should use the other ones. Medicine is yaku and kusuri. When you're sick, you take in some kusuri. Look at that. And okiru. The fact that's the two pronunciation is because all the language evolved. Like multiple Chinese dynasty came to Japan over the years, over the different centuries, and they imported some vocabularies. And the Chinese vocabulary is often used for the Chinese pronunciation, often used for vocabulary composed of two or more characters. That's not always true, but that's kind of a rule of thumb. is it so difficult? Like, if you wanna set a deadline is, I believe that's warikiri. And those pronunciation are the Japanese pronunciation, although it's composed of 2 characters. So I don't know what's the rule. Is there really a rule? I don't think there's a rule for which pronunciation to be used. It's more like when this vocabulary has been introduced, or has it evolved. To send or to escort. This one is ok, and the verb to send is okuru. For example, if I want to say I send a letter, I would say tekami o okuru. I think that once I finished, I will take a rubber to clean up a bit, because I'm not really sure I will be able to read this while taking a shower. It's very small, but at least I will have the characters in front of me, and yeah, better than nothing, I believe. So to carry, to transport. This character is used in the word driving. Driving is unten. I think you can hear my cat is quite talkative. I hope he won't talk too much. Copy. Yes, his name is Finnegan, and he has a sister, which is yes, Dixie. If he continues too much and I take a break and cut this part from the video, I would have to check if that's not too noisy. I actually don't have any microphone or something. I'm just using my iPad with the front camera, as you can see. Like, I don't have any pretension to produce something of an amazing quality, but I listen ASMR almost every night before sleep, and I wanted to shoot like a small video or something, just to experiment. So stop scratching the couch, please. I think the quality is okay. those things, because there's so much pronunciation for every character. Like some characters have like 8, 9 different pronunciation. But when you're starting, you don't learn all of those. You just learn little by little when you encounter a new vocabulary, and you think you know how to pronounce it because you already knew one pronunciation of this character, but that's not this one. So sometimes as you learn, there's some vocabulary you don't know, but you know of the characters in this vocabulary, and you start you start to, how to say that, to pick up, to guess. You kind of able to guess the meaning from those two vocabularies. Sometimes that is like that, like this one is with this one, which is pen. Is negative, pen is convenient. So when you say pen, it means inconvenient. And before learning inconvenient, I learned convenient, which is penry. So when I saw the negative character with the convenient character, I stripped it, understood that this was inconvenient, but it doesn't always work, sadly. This one is a character for the large building. Why can't I just use large and building, like oki, tatemono, hiroi tatemono? Why do I have to use yakata? This one, the Chinese pronunciation is kan, and it's used in large buildings, but it's not how to say that, the main characteristic of the building when you use this character, like Bijutsukan is the museum, beautiful arts museum. So a museum is usually a large building, but it just because that's a building usually large, it's not specifically say it's large. It just gives it the characteristic that it's large, but it's not as descriptive as, I believe I could say, oki or hiroi tatemono, to say, if I really want to emphasize the fact that this building is really large. What did I wrote? It's really small by mean of compared with. And I read the English letter because I'm struggling to understand how these characters works. So I might have to double check and to Google a bit. Day is low, which is also hikui is the adjective low. remember I met a girl, and this girl was called Waka, and to introduce her, she said, my name is Waka, and she said, Waka Waka, so I could be sure to understand how to pronounce her name. Was very funny. Public jumper. Public jumper. It's also hard, but it's already too big. I don't have enough room to write hard. And that's tall. This one. Some of you might know it, even maybe just looking at it. This character. Sorry, it's reversed. Actually, I gotta check if, because I'm seeing it upside down, but I might be able to mirror it. I actually don't have any video editing skill. Yeah, some of you might know this character, and it's Tulai. Guess what is the Japanese pronunciation? The Japanese pronunciation is Suki. Suki. Suki. Yeah. It's Suki. To build is tateru. Tateru is the verb to build, but the actual character is tate, like in tatemono, a building. Mono. Do you remember? We saw the mono character. Mono for the thing, the object. Like tatemono is a building, kaimono is the grocery maybe, or just the thing you build. Some of you might wonder, why am I not speaking French? Actually, I don't know. I guess I'm pretty used to speaking English, so I started the video in English and decided to speak English when starting recording, and yeah, that's it. There's no really other reason. Maybe I prefer to target more international audience. I like international exchanges, and maybe, unconsciously, maybe I chose to speak English because I'm working on my Japanese, and more Japanese people might be more sorry, I'm thinking while speaking Japanese people are probably there's probably more Japanese people speaking English, so if there's some chance some Japanese people watch my video, that might be easier to communicate. the country. Yeah, sorry. What am I saying? Ego is the English, yeah. Yeah, sorry. So, go is the word, sorry. Yeah, I'm mixing up with Coco. So, go is the character for the word. And so, France is France. So to say French, you say Francisco. Germany is Deutsch. So German, the language is Deutschko. But for some reason, maybe because that's like kind of the universal language. England is İngiliz, but the English language is Ego and not İngilizco. I'm gonna try to say İngilizco to Japanese people just to see their reaction. It could be quite funny. Vegetable is sai. Vocabulary for vegetable is yasai. This one is I don't want to look at it because I know this character, but I don't know. What is it? Okay, a try, a test I forgot. Because this character is in a match. I like a football match. Saka no shiai, a football match. Try, test. And shiai is to try the test plus the meeting character. So that's like the meeting we meet to test ourselves. That's what a match is. And the verb for to try to test is Tames. The explanation, the opinion. Sets and toku. To explain. So when you want to ask in Japanese to someone to explain you something, you can say 解いてください. Please explain me. But I believe maybe some people can confirm it, but I believe it's kind of weird. I don't know. I feel like this would rather be 教えてください. 教える is like to experience testing can to lend loan to lend tie and gas quality without looking. I think that's shit. And it's easy to remember because she and hiragana, katakana, sorry, are really similar. Quality, not, and yeah, let me show you. This is wider and where it is. Yeah. This is she and this is t. And the difference, those two little lines are a bit more horizontal in she. And you start the line from the bottom, where from the t, they're a bit more vertical, and you start the other line vertically. Projection. Projection reflect. This character is used. A is used in Ega, which means a movie. And when you combine it with the large building, Eigakan, it means movie theater. To wash, sun and hara. No, it's not hara, it's hara. There's a difference. It's a bit subtle, but there's a ha character which starts with H, and there's the A character which says just the A letter. And we're on the last character, which means I or me. Can you guess what it is? What is the Japanese pronunciation? It's watashi, which means I. But there's multiple way to say I in Japanese, and watashi is quite polite, if I understood correctly, because it's a kind of a difficult topic to choose the right pronoun for the right situation. For myself, most of the time I use book. You might have heard this one in animes, and if you know My Hero Academia, its Japanese title is Boku no Hero Academia. I believe, yeah. He's sleeping right